Aaron Rodgers?
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers?
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers?
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
Boom! Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. We know you missed us. You know, you were just, honestly, I would imagine you woke up every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and we're just like, where am I? You didn't know. And then, in the distance, guitar riff, familiarity washes over you. A beacon of light, and you know that you're about to be navigated.
Oh, you're getting navigated. You're
That's
getting navigated. You know where you're going. We're back in your life.
That's it.
I just told Tom I had a dream about him this weekend. What I didn't tell Tom is that this weekend I was diagnosed with the butt flu.
Not for the butt flu. The good freaking morning. I promise I wasn't celebrating the butt flu. That sounds miserable.
It was one of the worst weekends of my life.
Was it food poisoning or like you just
no? But I think food poisoning would have been better.
It's just la poop.
It was the worst stomach pain I've had in a long time. Just ran through my family. So
you look
Thursday,
great though.
Yeah. It's a great way to lose a couple pounds, Tom.
Ready for beach season.
Like, I've got levels of where I gauge how sick I am.
Mm-hmm.
First sign, I'm pretty sick. I won't drink coffee.
Oh.
Second sign, I don't eat. I ate a banana in over a 24-hour period, and that nearly killed me. So the reason I mention this is I want sympathy in the comments, and I want everybody to feel sorry for me and applaud me for being here today, because honestly, I don't even know if I'm well. I don't know if I'm right.
So if like you run off screen and you grab a bucket, we know.
Correct.
Okay, got it.
Correct.
Got it. All right. Thoughts and prayers. T's and P's.
Good news. Go for it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Grossi Perna Show, otherwise known as GP. We're back to 3 days a week. Tom Grossi, Brandon Perna, we're here, and we ain't going nowhere. Because we're about to navigate you through the franchise tagging. We're about to navigate you through free agency, which is what's going to happen. And, Mike is coming in hot. He knows.
Oh, Mike, you are what I would call the man, because we back, baby. DraftKings Sportsbook. Yeah. America, you want to do the legal sports betting? Well, let's do it at DraftKings, and let's use code GPS. It's the only code you should ever use anywhere you go. Your new ATM code, GPS. Your new security code for, GPS. I don't know, your home security system. You know, when you call and they're like, hey, give us a secret password, GPS. because the excitement of conference championships, it's like never before, and you can experience it with DraftKings.
That's basketball.
Turn your team victory into your own big win. How? With DraftKings Sportsbook. New customers can bet $5 on any team to win and get $200 in free bets. It's that simple. Illinois listeners. Illinois? Shout out Illinois. We have some big news. Mobile registration is back, and right now you can sign up for DraftKings Sportsbook simply by downloading the app right to your phone. And of course, if DraftKings is not available in your state, you can join in on the action with DraftKings pools. Not swimming pools.
Oh.
Those are closed for the winter.
Oh. It's 68 degrees here today.
Jesus. We got
it's gonna be
cold and snow.
It's going to be 40 tomorrow.
Yeah. So March Madness coming up. Basketball, college. You know,
it's like cabin fever.
There. You can play free all March long with these pools for a shot at over $250,000 in prizes. Use code GPS. Link is in the description.
It is.
Okay.
So now we're about to do a show.
Yes, we got a big show today. And by big, I mean, it's kind of like today is like the preseason of the off season.
Correct. That is accurate. We got our first franchise tag.
Yeah.
We got our first one, Brandon Perna. The first one finally popped. A couple days before the deadline, here we go. We finally got our first franchise tag being used by the Kansas City Chiefs.
The team that just invents money.
They really do. They tagged Orlando, Florida today. The entire section, they're like, we want Disney World, we want Universal Studios, we want SeaWorld, and we're going to free the orcas, we're going to free Shamu, and we're going to ride them off into the distance. Or Orlando Brown. It's one or the other. I didn't really do a fact check on that.
We're going to Busch Gardens in Orlando Brown.
Yeah, that's Tampa Bay, Florida.
Oh, okay. Dang it.
That's Tampa. All right.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. Florida's just one place to me.
Okay. You know what? That's accurate. There's Florida, man. Oh, what? Oh, have we done our GPS State of the Union yet? Or are we saving that?
No.
That's a State of the Union.
We're not here to solve war.
We're here to make war. Oh,
what is it good for?
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
That's our
the original title to War and Peace. Yeah. Seinfeld. Nailed it.
Nailed it. But yeah, Orlando Brown getting tagged here. Now, Perna, you put in something interesting. What do you think this means for the Kansas City Chiefs?
That's funny, Daniel. I think it means they're going to be good until the Denver Broncos get Aaron Rodgers. But outside of that, Tyrann Mathieu's future probably up in the air in Kansas City. Unless you're paying attention to Tyrann Mathieu on Twitter, who after everybody's like, ooh, they're tagging Orlando Brown, this means Tyrann Mathieu probably going to be a free agent. Tyrann Mathieu tweeted something like, I love how all of you pretend like you know what you're talking about and none of you have a clue. So maybe he's going back to Kansas City. Maybe when you're Tyrann Mathieu, you shouldn't take what people say on Twitter so seriously.
Sure.
Like, I guess, like, if I'm an athlete, why do I get annoyed by a bunch of people who don't know what they're talking about what your future might hold? Like, you basically can go out there and address it and try to silence people, or you can just ignore it. And I think that's, as a little bit of advice for peace of mind, Tyrann, just ignore it. They don't know. Let it play out. Let it play out.
Yeah. By the way, Caleb, people mentioned this like a couple weeks ago. I'm really starting to see it now. The hair's getting a little bit longer. Like it's there.
Can we just upgrade it to a handsome David Arquette? A more handsome David Arquette?
Yes.
Yeah. I want to be high rent David Arquette.
Okay. You don't want to be like new Scream reboot movie David Arquette.
Whenever they compare me, it's like you're like off-brand or low rent, this good-looking celebrity.
Got it.
David Arquette's not like somebody's like, oh,
you're
yeah,
WCW champion David Arquette.
Yeah, exactly. I am Scream David Arquette.
Yeah, original. Yeah, OG, not latest one. Latest one was pretty good, but regardless, I will say to your point, I've ignored it for most of it. And listen, I'm obviously not an athlete, right? I'm not playing in the NFL. I know, shocker. Let people absorb that.
Yeah.
But the amount of Twitter garbage from people who are verified or they like, or, oh no, I'm a sports reporter, has gotten so bad. So the amount of stories that I'm sent, and it's like, well, did you see this? And it's coming, and it's some random ass thing with no sources whatsoever. The person has been wrong 85 times before this, and like they're just shooting out like guesses. It's so bad because I think I am unfortunately thrusted into that world because of the Aaron Rodgers stuff. Like, it's bad. It's bad. They're like, Tom, did you see this? I'm like, this person knows nothing. They know nothing. They're not associated with the team. They don't have any sources. They're a random Twitter account. And people are like,
there's Sir Random Guy. There's Sir Random Guy, Tom.
You know what? I trust Sir Random Guy more because at least he delivers the rankings of us each week.
Exactly.
I honestly believe him more than the random like NFL talks, like NFL, what like inside, like garbage, just total garbage. And the amount of stuff that has come out about Rodgers, where you have these people who are saying, they're talking about Rodgers and here, this is where he thinks he's going to be going, or all the trade talks are heating up. And then you have Goody coming out saying, nope, there's no trade talks. We're not picking up the phone. It is mind blowing to me that like, no, stop following random ass Twitter accounts that do not have any sources. They don't know what they're talking about. I'm really going to start making things up at this point, Perna, because it works. It just works.
I've been thinking about that as well.
Dude.
Like, just saying, like, I'm hearing that Antonio Brown already has a contract that's 90% done with, get this, the Cincinnati Bengals. Boom. Just tweet it out there.
There you go.
And then I'll make a photo of AB. What's that? Whoa.
Once we get Mad Monday, I think I'll do.
Yeah. I heard one thing before I forget, what I love is when somebody tags me and you, and then it'll be like urinating tree or 5 points vids, whoever the story might be linked to on Twitter, about 16 hours after, like, it's like maybe a freaking Rappaport tweet. So like a good tweet. And it's like a piece of, I don't know, Aaron Rodgers news.
We retweeted it like 16 hours ago.
It's like 16 hours old, and they're being nice. Like, hey, did you guys see this? Like, of course we've seen it. Like, but
we don't have lives.
This was a while ago, okay? Like, and I use Twitter because people tag me in things, and I'll see it because I get tagged before it naturally popping up, like seeing a Schefter tweet or a Field Yates, wherever it's coming from. Like, so I love it. I'm not trying to discourage anyone, but if it's an old tweet, assume we've seen it.
Well, the thing is too, Adam Schefter getting schooled by Lamar Jackson because Schefter took something out of like context. And he was saying that, I think he said like Lamar was saying that there's still like racial prejudice. Like he feels that like in the NFL, and Lamar quote tweeted him and was like, that's not what I was talking about. Like I wasn't in reference to that question. He's like, Adam, just stop, Adam, just stop. So I will say watching Adam Schefter get buried on really a quarterly basis now, that does bring me some joy because I will never forgive him after the draft.
He's a Denver guy. I got his back. I got Schefter's back. So what I remember is Lamar Jackson saying he hates white people. That was his quote. He had a press conference and just for 4 hours just said that over and over again. Did you see Will Compton's like quote?
Yes, he's like, try being a white guy trying to tackle you on the field.
Yeah, that shit was hilarious.
He followed him back because of that.
Yeah. It was like, racial bias towards black quarterbacks, I think was the phrase Schefter used. And then Will Compton was like, try being a white guy trying to tackle you, Lamar. That was probably the funniest thing over the weekend. And I'll be honest, I did not really look at Twitter until Sunday. Like, I knew Aaron Rodgers stuff was like more fodder was happening. I was like, I don't care. Like, if he comes to the Broncos right now, I don't care because I am doing a forced punch of karma cleanse, and I don't know if I'll see Monday morning.
I don't know.
I might die. I do not care if Rodgers comes to the Broncos at this point.
Okay, good. I'm going to clip that. You're just giving me more footage.
I gave up. I gave up hope.
There's a lot of rumors that are starting to circulate, that Rodgers could potentially make this decision this week. I will say that when it comes to deadlines, I mean, it made sense because of the whole Davante Adams deadline of, is he going to be franchise tagged and what have you? Yeah, I think it's likely that it's coming this week, but everything I'm seeing is, he still doesn't know. And like, he might know, but they said originally, what was that, a couple weeks ago? Oh, he wants $50 million. He wants to be the highest paid QB. And then Pat McAfee texted him and he was like, no, that's not true. So
he's like, I want $1 billion.
There are so many content creators out there that are doing every single little like drop of information. And I use information very lackadaisically. Like, was like, all right, yeah, sure. Like, oh, he's thinking this. I'm not doing it. I'm not putting out a video for every single little, like, he might do this. No. Yeah, when it comes out, there will be a wave of content that Tom Grossi will produce. But now it's just all speculation. And like, I don't want to be part of that. I don't need to do it anymore. So it just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. I thought Mike Florio actually put out a good video about the Aaron Rodgers stuff. Saying that, yes, the Packers haven't had any trade talks because they can't. Like, I don't think they can until Rodgers makes a decision. Like, teams, I don't know if they can engage in it, but like, they have to go through Rodgers' agent. Just watch what he said. I'm butchering it right now. But basically, like, if Rodgers is going to go, the point was, if he's going to go somewhere else, then those parameters are going to be in place through his agent in connection. I guess teams can't talk to Rodgers, but like, he's not going to just tell the Packers he's not coming back and then let them figure out a trade. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he might not have a decision made, but that doesn't mean that he's not looking at what his options would be. And those options still are the same that they've been for a while. It's the same. I mean, they threw in, I think, the Steelers and the Titans as two plausible destinations. He bought a home in Tennessee or is buying one. So that's why the link there became stronger. The Steelers are a good team. Basically, he's not going to go to the NFC. It's the same shit. Even what the Broncos would give up to get him. Yes, they're going to give up the first and second round draft picks this year. They're going to give up a first next year. We've basically known what the price is going to be. But until Aaron Rodgers utters words out of his mouth, these are my intentions, it is speculation. And I guess my fear is that this is just going to become a thing every offseason. We kind of talked about it, I think, last episode. But
yeah,
like, is the business of generating buzz around a quarterback leaving so good that every year they're going to find a QB who's really good, got a couple years left on his deal, but might want a trade? Like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, look at how much engagement it gets, right? If I put out a video like right now, like major Aaron Rodgers updates, like, it's going to do well, right?
Yeah.
And I think you look at there's a vacuum right now because Aaron Rodgers is staying completely silent. And so there's people who are rushing to fill that vacuum with, oh, well, speaking of Mike Florio, because he's a favorite of mine, I said that completely sarcastically. He put out an article saying that the Steelers should go after Aaron Rodgers because there's a lot of empty seats at Heinz Field. What is that? Like, come on now. Like, okay, you know what? The Jacksonville Jaguars, they have a lot of empty seats. You know, they should go after Aaron Rodgers too. You know what are the Rams looking like? Not a lot of people show up to their games. It's usually away teams. They just won a Super Bowl, but maybe they should go after Aaron Rodgers too. Like, without even like, hey, the Packers need to be the ones to decide, yes, you are being traded to this place or this place. So they're saying like, oh, it could be Denver, it could be Pittsburgh, it could be Tennessee, it could be Green Bay. At the end of the day, the Green Bay Packers get to choose where Aaron Rodgers is going to go unless they make some kind of deal. And then that's the only time we can start talking about it. But right now, everything is just, oh, well, maybe he'll do this. But it's being reported as fact, and that is so annoying.
Okay, Kung Fu Wombat, that's true in a way.
True.
But what do I do in my videos? Do I point out the BS when it's there? Do I point it out?
You look sexy.
Yeah, I'm going to use the title that people... Look, I have suffered in views and in subscriber gains because I have not gone full throttle with my titles in terms of being clickbaity. I've dialed it back at my own peril. All right? So yes, I like it. But last year, with all of the QB rumors, they felt real. They felt like, oh, God, this is different. This is new. This year, it feels like they're just trying to ride the momentum of attention that they had last year.
Let's get to free agency. We need to fill that void until we get to free agency. Then we'll have actual things to talk about.
And the difference between this offseason for me and next offseason is the XFL will be underway at this point. So I'll have more to talk about. And then it'll be like into winter and spring is going to be crazy with just the spring football leagues, then free agency and the draft. Like, that's always big and that's always fun. But but
it does seem like all the big QBs, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson, like nothing might happen to any of them. Deshaun Watson, I'm done talking about Deshaun Watson because literally no one has any idea what's going to happen with that because there's still a ton of lawsuits that are going there. So Wilson, as far as I know, it's been pretty quiet on that front. And then Rodgers, he's not saying a word.
Yeah.
So,
and I think like my gripe with this stuff is, I know this wasn't going to be what the show is about, but my gripe is like, I'm tired of seeing the guys that I look to as actual NFL news breakers and journalists just feeding off the rumors. You know what I mean? Like, to me as a sports fan, I get that info from them, and paying attention to it for so long, I've watched the evolution of it become more about the rumor than the actual substance. You know what I mean? Like, it's fine if it's freaking TMZ posting something, or it's an offset of a website that I know is going to be looking for those rumor sort of stories versus like, I just want the big guys to drop the news when it's news. That's all I want. And I want them to clarify when it isn't news. And they have so many sources. They get one little piece of and I'm not saying they don't get legit information from their sources about the evolution of these things, but it's just like, I want to be able to know the difference between the rumors and when actual shit's happening. And it's harder every freaking year. Like my job, I have to do more work to figure out where a piece of information came from, more so than ever. Like, I can't just be like, oh yeah, that came from Schefter, it's good.
Yeah.
It's like Schefter's referring to this thing that's had this guy, this source, it's connected by this member of the media from this team. It's like playing freaking connect the little
Well,
turds.
it's like per this person. So then you like, because I've done that before. They're like per Ian Rappaport. Like I've been blocked by Packers media. Like they're members of, well, you know what? It's kind of tough to call them Packers media, but that's neither here nor there. I've been blocked by them years ago because when I will never forget this, when Matt LaFleur was going to get hired, but we didn't know it was going to be Matt LaFleur. And it was like maybe Josh McDaniels. It was Lincoln Riley. Like there was a bunch of people that were like rumored. What happened was this person put out an article saying per Ian Rappaport, these are the front runners for the Packers head coaching job. So I was like, you know what? Let me go see. I click on the article. Like I go to Ian Rappaport. I click on the article. I read through the entire article. Nowhere does it say that they're front runners, just that they're being interviewed. So I literally retweeted that. And I was like, this is not what it says, because people were like messaging me left and right. And they were like, oh, did you see they're the front runners? I'm like, he literally doesn't say that. And he goes, well, he mentions them, so it means that they're front runners. And I'm like, no, that's not how it works. Like, that's how you could take like one little article and spin it out and be like, oh yeah, no, this is completely different. And like, that's how it just kind of snowballs and snowballs and snowballs. And it's mentioned off nothing, but then I got blocked by them. So, but like, that's the kind of crap that drives me absolutely up a wall, because it's just so frustrating. I'm like, why are people in their basement able to do a better job than people who are like credentialed? That's what my question. I'm not saying we're better than all the media. I'm not saying all that. What I'm saying is that there are members of the sports media world that you and I do a better job of reporting actual stuff than they do.
Yeah.
That is 100% accurate.
And I'm not trying to be a reporter either. Like, I just want to make fun of the stuff. I want to have the piece of information and then make jokes about it, or make up a fabricated story of how they got to that conclusion. Like, that's what I like doing. Like, they signed this guy because, you know, and then insert some dumb story to get to a dumb punchline. Like, that's all I want to do. But when you can't even decide what the actual true headline is, you're a little screwed. But, but that's... I do want to talk about franchise tags, because that's real. And we do have one franchise tag that is real. Chiefs are going to work out a deal with Orlando Brown, their offensive line. They think that's important to protect Patrick Mahomes. The thing I love is the people are like, Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to go to the AFC West because of Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert. You think Aaron Rodgers is scared of those guys? You really think he's scared of those guys? Idiots. No. He would destroy them with the Broncos. Anyway, here are the other guys. Big one, Davante Adams. We're in a little over 24 hours, Tom. We see whether he gets tagged or not.
Yep.
And that's probably why the real reason Aaron Rodgers' news, whether he stays or goes, comes out tomorrow, because he's got to know if Davante Adams is staying in Green Bay or not. I think that's a key piece. But you got Adams, you got Chris Godwin, you got Mike Williams, Jessie Bates, Dalton Schultz, Mike Gesicki, and Harold Landry. These are the guys to keep an eye on. Per one Adam Schefter, who is our favorite source of news, as we just mentioned. Tom Grossi loves him. And then a guy not mentioned there is J.C. Jackson for the Patriots.
Yes.
Who I thought for sure was going to get franchise tagged. Now I don't know. He wants to get paid. He wants to be the highest paid corner in the NFL. He deserves it. I don't know if the Patriots are going to pay him, because I don't know if the Patriots believe they're in a window to win a Super Bowl. And they spent a lot of money last offseason, but I feel like they spent a lot of money last offseason because Bill Belichick was a scorned man, and he wanted to prove he could win without Tom Brady. Now Tom Brady is retired, and maybe the pressure of him to go all in right now is a little less. But do you think they get a deal done with J.C. Jackson, or do you think they let him? Because if there's one organization who's going to be like, we don't need to pay you, it's the Patriots.
It is the Patriots, yeah.
But they need that guy right now, because their defense is what got them,
correct,
to the postseason, to get throttled by the Bills. But
Well, and you and I talked about this before too. Like during the Tom Brady era, like you could have like the skimping out on contracts, guys taking less money because there was a really good chance you went to the Super Bowl that year. You were at 100% making the playoffs unless something catastrophic happened. Like that was all. Now they don't have that real star power to say like, yes, we're definitely going to do this. So, I mean, I don't think it's the right move for the Patriots to let JC Jackson walk, but I mean, it seems like he wants to get paid. I mean, it's Davante Adams too, though. Davante Adams does not want to play on the tag. No player really wants to play on the tag. They want the long-term deal where there's going to be money that's going to be coming in more than just 1 year. They want to do that. And Jackson made it clear, like, what was it, a month or two ago? He made it very clear, like, he wanted to get paid. Like, it's time now to pay me. So if the Patriots don't do it, I mean, I think there will definitely be some strong contenders to go out and pay a lot of money for him.
Now, in the past, the Patriots, they're willing to pay corners too. Like they brought in Darrelle Revis and they paid him on like 1 or 2 year deals. They lured Stephon Gilmore out of Buffalo. They paid him for a while. They just moved on from Stephon Gilmore. They took a chance on Aqib Talib, but when it was time to pay him, he went to Denver. So they'll pay for that position, I think. I think this is more like negotiation and leveraging. So I think they're going to get a deal done with him. But if they don't, this draft class right now, there's some good corners that are going to go in the first round. They're probably going to have to trade up to get one of them, but they could replace JC Jackson in this draft too. So, that's kind of what might make him a little bit more expendable in my humble opinion. I mean,
I will say, talking about letting people walk, like what the big story was, we weren't doing a show, but Amari Cooper, they were talking about just cutting him blatantly, like just flat out and just like letting him walk. And he's still young. And like people's reaction to this was like, wait, what? But I mean, we're going to be doing the same exact thing. And now it's coming out, but this is something that has been out for a while now and been known. Like Zadarius Smith is likely going to get cut from the Packers because Zadarius is not going to restructure. He's not going to take less money. Goody basically said like it's going to take, a joint effort for him to bring him back. He deleted all the stuff off social media, what have you. I basically said like, yes, he wasn't coming back, but that was anticipated since literally last season that he was not going to be coming back. So now you're going to be letting a great pass rusher, Zadarius Smith go because of our cap restraints. And the Cowboys are going to be letting go Amari Cooper, who they promised a crap ton of money, and he can still play. So if you're in need of a wide receiver, you're looking at potentially Davante Adams, Amari Cooper, Chris Godwin. Like there's guys that are out there that are game changers, in my opinion. I know that the story was Davante Adams, he bought a house in Vegas, so he's definitely going to be going to the Raiders. And I'm like, great, I got that all Friday night during the Q&A. But I mean, there's potential.
$12 million house.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he wants to live on the West Coast and not Green Bay. I mean, that kind of makes sense. Like Rodgers lives in California too. So buy vanilla deals. But I'm curious what happens with Amari Cooper. Because
they need him. Like, that offense, I think he's a big part of the Cowboys offense. And they're just in a year. Look, Jerry Jones, money's not an issue for the Cowboys, right? Like some teams, they don't have like the cash that you need you have to have a certain amount of cash for player contracts, right? That's never a problem with the Cowboys. But they're really in a place where Zeke Elliott and Amari Cooper, their out years should have been flip-flopped. So they can get out of Zeke's contract next year, and they can get out of Amari's contract this year because there's like $6 million in dead cap. But they need to be able to they put themselves in a bad position by having to hold on to Zeke and having to consider this with Amari Cooper. Because at this point, and it's like, it's known, like you can find better, easier running back replacements than wide receivers. And when you invest in a quarterback like Dak, you want to have premier weapons. They've got to figure out they're going to tag Dalton Schultz Michael Gallup is probably gone, tore his ACL. So even if they decide to pay him, when will he play? You've got CeeDee Lamb, who's really good, but like that offense needs two premier like pass catching players. And again, maybe they got a plan in the draft, but receivers usually take a year or two to develop. So yeah, I would love to see them just let Amari Cooper go, and mostly so we can rib Scooter on clickbait. But
I would love if he goes back to the Raiders just because. He just goes back, so they get that first round pick, and then they also get Amari Cooper back.
Yeah. But it's also like it's not like Amari Cooper is the best receiver in the league or anything.
No. He's good. Don't get me wrong, he's good, but he's not. I'd say he's like a top 15 though.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to be top 3 or top 1, what would they do, Brandon Perna? Drink coffee. Edge warmer brew.
They would write down Amari Cooper's name on a piece of paper. And then they would hold it up into the air, and they would close their eyes until they saw DraftKings Sportsbook. And they'd go, why did Amari Cooper turn into DraftKings Sportsbook? Well, because I don't know how to segue into an ad read. I never took improv. I am bad at everything. But if you want to try and be good at something, maybe do it with our code GPS, link in the description over at DraftKings Sportsbook. Get ready to feel the excitement of the conference championships like never before. Turn your team's victory into your own big win with DraftKings Sportsbook.
I'm excited.
New customers can bet $5 on any team to win and get $200 in free bets if they do. It is that simple. Illinois. We have some big news. Mobile registration is back. Right now, you can sign up for DraftKings Sportsbook by simply
the Bears don't suck.
The app right now, too. What?
That's Illinois' big news. The Bears don't suck. Just kidding, they do.
They are going to be average. If sportsbooks aren't available in your state, you can still join in on the action with DraftKings Pools. Dive in head first. It's shallow, but it's safe. Everyone can play for free all March long for a shot at over $250,000 in prizes. Basically, the amount of money Aaron Rodgers wants to make every second he's on the football field.
Oh.
Per sources. My source, code GPS at DraftKings.
My source, the world. Yes. Speaking of the Bears, I wanted to show you this real quick. This was in the mod chat, and I thought that this was great. So Matt Nagy, did you see his house?
Yeah,
did you see his house? So yeah, he is selling his $6 million house. Hold on, I gotta put this up here. We gotta put this up here. Okay, there it is. So he's selling his $6 million house. There's a lot of Bear stuff in this house. So this play sheet, like his play calls were like all on the wall.
Yeah, like this room right there. Totally normal. Looks like, oh yeah, okay, Bears fan. It's the coach. Oh yeah, he's got some cool okay, then totally normal. Then it gets hardcore.
Here,
locker room.
Got a locker room here. Got a locker room.
Boom, there it is. I mean, don't get me wrong. That basketball court is tight. That is.
Perna, can I ask you a question? And I want a real answer from you. Is there ever going to be a day when you become a millionaire that you are going to get a custom basketball court with a P on it? Like how? Like, I'm sorry. On what planet?
It's going to be my face.
It's just, here, guys. I want you to be able to step on my face when you're drilling some baskets there. It's just.
Here's the Grossi Perna promise, all right? Like, if we ever make it big time big, we will build an indoor basketball court. I'm not saying we're going to put our initials on it or our faces, but we will do an hour live stream from that basketball court where Tom and I take shots and we miss every single shot in our personal basketball court for an entire hour. We will set the record for most basketball attempts without making a shot ever. Make it happen, world.
I mean, I gotta be honest. I just want a ping pong table. So I'm a simple man. I love ping pong.
See,
do you have a ping pong table?
Like, I'm not good at ping pong. I've played foosball. But that's our goal, is to get to a very, very high level of doing what we do and then putting out the worst possible video to commemorate our success.
And we wear spiked cleats on the basketball court.
It should just be an ice arena with a basketball hoop, and we wear regular shoes out there.
Yes.
Either one.
You know what? I agree with that. I agree with that. And now here it comes. YouTube takes 30% of it. So there's a little change for it to happen. Okay, so we'll build a bat. I don't really play basketball though. I can shoot a little bit.
That's why we can miss that many shots.
Okay. Can we get a football field? I would like that.
Oh. You know what I really want is an indoor football field, but that has like moving targets for you to throw at, and you can generate like scores. So you get like a minute or 2 minute round, and you can play against your friends to see who like had the most accurate throwing sesh.
Okay. All right. So I mean, here's my plan. You ready for this? Indoor football field. Find friends to play with. That's the 1-2 punch. So that's I don't have the room for a ping pong. Like, honestly, I'm such a simple person. It has been a lifelong dream of mine to have a ping pong table. I could have made this happen for like $69 like on Black Friday. I just don't have the room for it. It's a really simple dream. Like, folks, I want to make it like very clear. Like YouTube, like, you know, we're doing well. I'm still driving my car that has 152,000 miles on it, right? I'm rocking with my Hyundai Sonata. It's fine. Like, I just want a ping pong table. I want space for a ping pong table. I'll Forrest Gump it and play against the wall. Like, I'm a simple man.
Yeah. I purchased a semi-used automobile this year.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is it a Ferrari?
And I ditched my mom's Subaru for my own car. But
okay.
I had a car before that. Then it got wrecked. Then my wife got a car, and then I just said I work from home, so I'll drive my mom's Subaru for a few years. But like, you got to put money into more important things. I've got a kid now, so I will be paying to have my. This is what I didn't reveal. So Thursday, all right.
Thursday.
My tummy was a little weird all day. And I'm gonna be honest. During clickbait, it started to flare up a bit. I'm like, oh,
whoa. I had to pee real bad during clickbait.
What's that?
I had to pee real bad during clickbait.
Oh, yeah, something like I was there. So then we pick up my kid, and we're gonna run an errand. And we never run an errand right after we pick her up. We're like, let's just go. We got to get some cat food. We got to get a couple things.
Yeah.
She's very quiet in the car, which is a little weird. We're just far away enough from home where it becomes an issue, and she just vomits. We took my semi-new automobile. Just pukes. One of her biggest pukes to date. We have to pull off the side of the road. She's freaking out. My wife's freaking out. I'm literally just picking up handfuls of puke and throwing it out of the truck, right? Just getting it out of there. It was like everything from lunch came up. I could see exactly what she ate. It smells horrible. We get her back into the seat. We go back home. And like, she's so close to pick up. So like usually like if we would have just went home, we would have made it.
Yeah.
But since we ran an errand, we get her home. She actually bounces back pretty quick. She slept great that night.
Babies bounce.
But yeah, but then we're like, oh God, because other family was sick. We thought we escaped the illness, but we did not.
Probably when you put your hands in it, probably didn't help.
Yeah, but I was already had the stomach thing, and yeah, my wife was covered in it. We did the whole, like, we got to wash everything. Kid bounces back, but that's that's when I knew I got it. Took her, into daycare this morning, back in my semi-new automobile, and it still has the smell.
No,
like that is just the hints of it. You're like, oh yeah. And my stomach was a little.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I drove Dash home.
I don't know where I don't know what the point of that story was.
I don't know what it was either. But
where did I start with that?
It was a semi-new car. I think that's what we're talking about. Yeah.
It's been puked in now. So
I brought Dash home when he was a puppy. I brought him home from the vet, and he just squatted in the back seat and took a dump. I don't have leather seats. I literally just look in the rearview mirror and I see him go. I was like, no! And I watched it. It was not great.
The lesson is to never buy anything that you like.
That you love. Don't buy anything that you like, because it will get puked on or pooped on. Yes. Speaking of puke and poop, the rumor came out talking about Aaron Rodgers for a hot second. That rumor that it'd be the Broncos would offer like a first this year, so the number 9 overall, a second this year, and a first next year. A lot of Packers fans looked at that and were like, no, that's garbage. We want more. I'm curious on your thoughts as a Broncos fan, because like we were all talking like 3 first-round picks. What about you, buddy? Like, what are we thinking about from a Broncos perspective? You think that's a good amount?
Yeah. I want to give up the least to get him, but I think 2 first-rounders is fair. A second-rounder this year, and the Broncos at 9, they can offer better value than the Steelers. They can offer better value than the Titans. Really, unless like a team like the New York Giants swooped in and give you those 2 top 10 picks right now, like that's solid value. The problem is it's really this year's first-round draft pick at 9 that would be valuable to Green Bay.
Because Rodgers going to the Broncos.
Yeah, because that's going to be a top of the first-round pick unless something horrible happens, like unless Rodgers gets hurt or something. They might have to offer more in terms of 2023, so might have to be like a first and second rounder that year as well to entice Green Bay. But I don't think Green Bay is going to be overly greedy if Rodgers says, I'm ready to move on. They're going to get the most value out of him, obviously, and the Broncos can offer that right away. But I saw some people like, nope, we'll just let him retire. Like, really? You'll let Rodgers retire instead of getting 2 first-rounders and a third-round draft pick?
Yeah,
you would rather have that? Like, I'm not saying that's the general consensus, but
well, there's definitely some people that don't want to see him on another team. But they're like, if we have to, because he's like adamant, I want to play football, but it's not on the Packers, then yeah, get as much as you possibly can.
Yeah. So, well, and like I saw the face you made when I said the Packers aren't going to be overly greedy. I think that's
true.
Maybe I'm crazy.
Yes.
I think there's a general respect for each other between Rodgers and the organization. I know it wasn't much great better, last year, but like I think people forget these are guys that have human relationships, and that if Rodgers said it's time for him to move on, the Packers aren't going to just try to dick him. They're not going to try to screw him, because I think they actually would care about him moving on, and they would feel better about themselves knowing that they provided a path for him to leave while getting value for him. It's not like, okay, you want out, screw you, buddy. We're gonna send you to the Houston Texans. Like, I don't think it works that way. I think it's a little more nuanced and complex than that. And
have fun backing up Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville.
Yeah, it's, they'll get the most that they can, and if he's gonna leave, they're gonna want something for it, as opposed to being like, nope, you got to stay here, you can retire. Like, they're not going to do that.
I think it's a mix of a couple things too, because if they trade Aaron Rodgers, like Goody's legacy becomes you traded a back-to-back MVP like that. So because of that, like there's going to need to be, I agree with you completely. It's this draft that is the most important, because once you trade him to the Broncos, let's say, right? Yeah, top of the first round, like you're not going to, it's basically like a second round pick because of how well they're going to do, or at least they're going to do differently. So, or better.
That's true, Devin.
True. But yeah, I don't know, man.
Well,
like,
look, and I don't even
year.
think Goody would be. I think the fact that this played out for another year has done the Packers organization favors. The more Aaron Rodgers has been allowed to talk to the public, the more people have torn opinions on him. I think the more the public thinks that he's more of a diva than the Packers were. Like last year's, the narrative was like, look at the Packers not accommodating Aaron. Now it's like, look at Aaron dragging this on. Look at all the crazy shit Aaron Rodgers
I do agree with that.
Like,
yeah.
If they let him go and get value for him, I think people are like, hey, they had no choice. You know what I mean? If this happened last year, it would look way worse for them.
I agree.
I don't know if they have leverage per se, but I think they're in a better spot. And then Bruce Arians, what he said about Tom Brady in that he wouldn't just let Brady go. I think that's
it's different.
It's hilarious. And it is different because he still has a deal on his contract. They reworked that deal last year.
Yeah.
And I think they'll let Brady go. But if they can get value for him, then they're going to do it. I think if push came to shove, that the Bucs would bow down to Tom Brady, because if they really wanted to get into a PR battle with Tom Brady, they would lose.
Oh God,
they would lose. He is so much more popular than their entire organization. You know what I mean? They're just he would kill them.
I say too, is it just me or like Tom Brady's retirement was the most lackluster thing?
Oh yeah.
Like I feel like it got leaked, then it didn't get leaked, and then it came out and it was like, okay. But I feel like we collectively are like, okay, it's over now. And I feel like there's still that lingering, like, yeah, he might come back. Yeah. Like, I feel like there's that lack of, like, I don't believe you fully.
No, I don't think he's committed to being fully retired. So
could be wrong.
I honestly think Tom has intentions of retiring, but I think he's going to see how he feels after the offseason goes. He gives himself a little bit of rest and he's like, I'm ready to do one more. I said I'm going to play to 45. I want to. Plus, he's going to spend a lot of time with his family, and he's going to be like, this is really hard.
Someone's going to puke in his car.
Yeah, a kid's going to puke in his car. He's going to love that kid more than anything on earth, but he's going to be like, I can go play football. I could be at the office, pumping iron, throwing balls 5 days a week, and then winning on Sundays. Do it.
Oh.
No, I'm not taking Love.
You can take Jordan Love for a first-round pick right now. No. Number 9. We'll just do 1.
I have to give you 9 for Love?
Yeah.
No, not a snowball's chance in hell. I got quarterbacks I like in this draft.
Joke's on you. We're in the 9th circle of hell where it's all ice and there's a lot of snowballs. So it's likely then.
It's hard to melt. I would take Carson Strong. I would take Malik Willis. I would take Matt Corral at 9.
What about Ryan Pickett with his tiny little hands?
Kenny Pickett? No way. No way. I know what it's like to throw a football with small hands. It's not really that big of a problem. I have smaller hands than Pickett, and I can throw a football fine.
You have smaller hands than Pickett?
Yeah.
I think like everyone on Clickbait measured their hands after Thursday. I mean, I know I did.
Yeah.
I have bigger hands than Pickett.
Mine are... What's a paper? 8 inches or 8.5 inches?
Ask Dunder Mifflin. I don't know. Mike here before? Like he had a Dunder Mifflin shirt on. Just do that.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So you won't give fine. You won't do Jordan Love. I do want to answer the question who you do think is going to get franchise tagged though.
Yes. Well, Chris Godwin's name is in there.
I don't think he gets franchise tagged. I think he's gone.
I think I saw Odell likely to go back to the Rams.
Yes.
And I saw Von Miller post something about like a checklist, and the final one was run it back.
Paper is 8.5, by the way. 8.5.
Oh, so my hand is just shy of 8.5.
My hand is bigger than the paper. You see my thumb sticking out there? It's bigger.
Wow. Yeah. I think Mike Gesicki gets tagged.
Gesicki, I could see that. Yeah.
Because Dolphins have money. There we go. Money maker.
There you go. Mike knew. I knew he knew. I knew he knew because of the Dunder Mifflin shirt. Yeah. I knew Mike would come in clutch.
I would say it is, my hand is 8.38, 8.4. So yeah.
Kitty goes meow.
I have my mom's hands.
In like a jar or?
Yes, right here. Hands.
Oh, okay.
Here, have some hands of my mom. What? I look like my dad and I'm built like my mother. Come get it, ladies.
Mike Williams?
Mike Williams. Well, the Chargers,
I think they go after a bigger name.
They could be in play for Davante Adams.
They could.
And here's two guys. Mike Williams is a player I could see hitting free agency, as is Jessie Bates, safety for the Bengals. And I say that only because the Bengals and the Chargers are historically poorly run organizations. Bengals notoriously cheap. Also, safety, and Jessie Bates is one of the best safeties. Safety's a position that is hard to overpay for.
Correct.
Like, the Chargers got Justin Herbert, and he's going to be cheap for a couple more years. So paying for Mike Williams, unless you think you can get an upgrade over Mike Williams, and I think he's really underrated, you can invest in a wide receiver because you got the QB to get him the ball.
Correct.
Safety's tough. You got to be really, really good, I think, to justify the money.
It's just not a coveted position in the NFL. It's not like corner.
So I don't know what the Bengals will do. The Bengals are in a window. Are they going to invest? I think they should bring back Jessie Bates, but I'm not sold they will.
If they let him walk, J.C. Jackson in that secondary, yes. Bring back, get some good secondary pieces. Go get that offensive line. Yes.
See, if I were a NFL GM, I would basically deploy one safety and just have all corners and all pass rushers.
Well, that's why like a hybrid for a while was like good. Like Micah Hyde was like playing in that. Like they had those hybrid guys. Like Packers used to invest in that a lot. The guys who can like go from like linebacker to safety to corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would always have 3 corners on the field. There's just too much passing.
Why don't I have 8?
8 corners.
Of course.
I mean, the way guys are running at the combine, like some defensive linemen could probably play corner now.
Yeah.
That's how fast they are.
They're pretty big. Yeah.
I do not want Jimmy G.
I did ask that. And who do you think gets a better contract, Jimmy G or Mitch Trubisky? The way that the buzz around Trubisky right now, I have to say is like really surprising to me because I think like he could be fine, but I feel like Jimmy G, and I know he has to get surgery, but I feel like there's like very little buzz about him. Like the guy has gone to the Super Bowl. I don't think he's like amazing, but
I think there's no upside to Garoppolo in that we've kind of seen,
who he is,
his full potential. And that's pretty good. Yeah. That's like, hey, he's probably at his best, 10th or 9th best QB in the league.
Yeah.
At his worst, 17th or 18th. Like he's not drastically, he's kind of like Ryan Tannehill to me, but Trubisky, he's had a year off. The intrigue is there. The mystery's back.
People have forgotten.
A year off done him good. Brian Dable loves him. He could go to the Giants.
I would love that.
Matt Nagy, everybody's like, oh, God, look at his house. He's stupid. Look how bad of a coach he was. He ruined Mitch Trubisky. So there's this baseline athleticism, which is greater than Garoppolo. Is he a better passer than Jimmy G? I don't know. But I think there's there's potential. Right situation, right coach, right group of talent around him. You could probably win some playoff games with Trubisky. You look at it, he had 2 really good, pretty good seasons with the Bears. 2018 was great. That was his sophomore season. And then his final season, even though he didn't start all year, because they had Nick Foles. He came in and helped get the Bears to the playoffs. He was kind of a big reason they were able to. It was their defense was really good, but he put him over the edge. They got to the playoffs. They didn't deserve to be there. He wins MVP. So,
So which one do you want as your starting quarterback? Because it's going to be
I would take a chance on Trubisky over Jimmy G, because like as a Broncos fan, I've seen Jimmy G. I think Garoppolo's better than Bridgewater. He's better than Flacco. He's better than Keenum. But he's in that area where a lot's got to go right around him. He's not going to give your team that extra thing it needs to be a Super Bowl contender. He can get him to the Super Bowl, which is crazy. You think I'd be happy with that, but I think with Trubisky, you can be just as bad, but I don't know. Also, I think it'd be more fun to watch with Trubisky. I like a guy who can maybe run.
Yeah, I think that Trubisky definitely there's potential there. I just do not understand like the hype right now. So, by the way, did you see that thing about Von Miller that just came out? And by just came out, I mean last night.
Which one?
Free agent market expected to be the Rams, Chargers, interest from the Packers and Broncos.
Oh, yeah, I did see that.
I have to imagine he's going back to the Broncos or staying with the Rams. I think it's either one.
Yeah, Packers is funny, though.
We don't have money.
I know.
But listen, it's fine. It's fine. So, yeah, Jessie Bates, I could see him getting tagged. Schultz.
Yeah, if they cut Amari Cooper.
Yeah. They could. But
all right.
Yeah. Oh,
well,
but Jair Alexander also talking extensions with the Packers, but that should be obvious. We need to do that just for cap space, and plus he's one of the best corners in the league. So yeah, we're gonna be extending him.
Wednesday, we'll be back.
Soon you'll see,
and I think we'll have substance to talk about.
Oh yeah, franchise tag.
Guys will be tagged. I'm 64% sure Aaron Rodgers is going to make his intentions known this week.
Browns tagged Njoku.
Yeah.
Yes, they did. There you go. Done.
Oh, and Njoku got tagged. That's interesting.
I remember when they didn't want him.
Or he wanted out.
He wanted to get out, and then they brought in Hooper.
Yeah.
I always thought Njoku on the Packers would be fun. Like, I was just like, yeah, I'd take a risk on him, 100%. Yeah, that's actually a little surprising that they would tag him. But
I wonder if the Browns are going to draft a quarterback with their top pick.
I don't think they do. I think they do one more year with Baker.
I mean, you draft a guy and still do one more year with Baker.
It's true. It's very, very true. Miller and Nwosu.
Miller.
Yeah, I'd probably lean towards Miller. But
I think Miller
he wouldn't be an every down guy.
Yeah, Miller does everything.
Yeah. All right, so he could play quarterback in case we lose Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, yeah.
Nailed it. But folks, we appreciate you tuning in for GPS. Like Brandon Perna said, we will be back on Wednesday. Brandon Perna, what do you got coming out, bud?
I think I'm going to do a what we learned from the combine type episode today.
Oh. People go fast.
People go very fast. And I dropped a Mike Shanahan's Broncos, where the NFL's version of Moneyball on Sunday. That was a Will Keys special. His idea, different style of video. Check it out.
And you get naked 16 minutes in.
Yep. Full frontal. I got the okay from YouTube. So
16 minutes. So you had to watch it, though. You can't just skip to 16 minutes.
Small hands. What does that say? What?
Makes things look bigger. And then for...
What do you got, Tom?
There you go. Jacob, happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Jacob! Jacob Grunzen.
Trubisky for the skill, Minshew for the memes.
I think Minshew has the same type of upside as Trubisky. I would take Minshew.
I saw him in that Dallas game. I know it was with backups, but that was bad.
What, Minshew?
It was bad. It was bad.
Give me both.
What do I got coming out today? I don't know. I got something coming out today. I might do. I have a video in mind. I want to do like the 5 worst Packers playoff losses in the past decade because there's so many of them. But I think I'm going to wait on that one. Might be a reaction vid today, but I'm waiting for this Aaron Rodgers stuff because then a ton of reaction videos are going to come out off of it. So we'll see. I don't know yet. Stay tuned, I guess. But I had a 2-hour lore stream on Friday. Check that out. So
wow,
well, folks. Appreciate you tuning in. We'll see you on Wednesday for another edition of the Grossi Perna Show, otherwise known as GPS. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. This is GPS, and you have been navigated.
And you've reached your destination.